on a warm summer's evening.
Well, Mick, we've finally got you tied down the office and going through a few staying nominations. What are some of the things you look forward to, and what's the process involved?
Yeah, James, it's a bit of a process, and every year I say last year was impossible, and this year looks even harder. So probably the biggest problem is it'd be different if you were just breeding to race. You could be less critical of stallions, and you could maybe chase a few second and third season stallions and hope that they come up just off their foals that they've left. But when you're trying to breed, and I'd probably do matings on about 60 to 70 mares for different people and clients, and whenever you're trying to breed commercially, you just try and make less mistakes, and the way to do that is to not punt stallions. So you find yourself those second, third, even fourth season stallions that you avoid a little, which is probably a bad thing, because if you get those right, you can really kick a goal, as we all know. But it's a bit of a needle in a haystack. What I look for in a stallion and a mare is I think type on type's extremely important. It's something that is often overlooked, especially when you get that better quality mare, because as soon as you get a mare that's has produced a Group 1 horse, or it was a Group 2 winner herself, you tend to just want to breed to the best, and that's not always the smartest thing to do. So I'm big on certain broodmare sire lines work really well with certain sire lines. So that's one of my biggest pushes, which is, I think most people would look at that. And again, as I said, type on type. So I think when you get a young maiden off the track, a quality mare that was any maiden really, but especially a mare that had ability, if you breed to a proven stay in first year, even first and second year, later on you haven't got any questions to ask you whether it was the stallion that was unsuccessful, or is the mare not a producer. When you go to those proven horses and you go 2 years running, she doesn't produce a runner, you can sort of start to say maybe this mare isn't that mare that we think could go on and breed. So
yeah, for sure. And when you're doing your matings, is there anything you're really looking for in the types, like when you're comparing those types? Or
yeah, I think again, because we are a commercial farm, and you're breeding to a market that you hope that want to buy that horse as a future going yearling and horse racehorse. Sorry, precocity is really important. So
that good early speed. You want a good fast 2-year-old early type.
Very much so for me. Not everyone breeds like that, but look, I always say to anybody that wants to look at some of those sort of European or sire lines that haven't been that successful here, and punt that type of horse, and guess what, they're all a punt, especially first season. But for me, there's two haystacks, and the precocious, fast, early, really sort of downhill line horse that works here more often than not. That haystack, when you're looking at reaching to that haystack's a bit smaller. But the haystack where you're looking for that stallion that's come from overseas, it's a sire line we don't really know. They're mating with our mares that probably genetically have never really matched that much. That haystack's are way bigger. So for mine, I'd always rather reach into the smaller haystack. And again, it is pulling the needle out of the haystack, but I'd rather be a smaller one than a larger one. So when we do our matings, we do look for those, like history shows, stands that get up and get going early, race on the speed, and can kick off a fast tempo, more often than not make it here in Australia.
For sure. And is there any stallions that you see have those qualities coming forward that you really are looking forward to doing, with these matings and into the future?
Yeah, I think well, obviously a big rap for Schnitzel. He's been an amazing stallion. Like, there's probably no better source of 2-year-old precocity in Australia. He's proved that year in, year out over the last sort of 3 or 4 years. Hence why we've got Sabu now, so he's going to take a lot of our attention, and we're going to use him, send him, a lot of our best mares will go to Sabu. We've always said if we're going to stand a stand, we want to stand a stand and hand on our heart, we could send our best mares to, and we will do that. To reason too, like you've got to be careful, and you can't put all your eggs in one basket with any stand. But look, I think I'm Invincible's a new horse that's bounced out again. Like, he's doing an amazing job getting a lot of 2-year-olds. He produces a really quality type, and that's something. Another thing that there's a lot of good stands in Australia, but I like to think of if you they might be a great stand, get a lot of winners, a lot of stakes horses, but you often can send 10 mares to a certain stallion like that, and he'll only produce 3 or 4 good quality yearlings that you can sell. With a horse like Schnitzel and Vinny, and there's lots of them, but you can breed 10 mares to those stallions and get probably 8 commercial types, where there's a lot of good stallions that get a lot of winners that you can bring 10 to them and get 3 commercial types. So and they cost their 60,000 plus service fee. So you've just got to pick the mares for those really carefully and make sure you pick mares that have worked in the past for them. So there is so much in it. I can't, again, it's a toss of the coin. But we just try and stick with stands that we know what they produce and lines that we know what they produce, and mares, quality mare, and things that we've had a lot of luck with. We try and just stick with that as other breeders would do.
Yep, great, Mick. Well, I'll leave you to it. I know you've still got a few to go and plenty more to find, and hopefully, that in the future we can have, be talking in a year or two's time when we're talking about Sabuga's that next big thing. We're pretty excited about him here. Impeccable type, and no doubt he's going to find some good mares this season.
100%, James. Thanks, mate.
Cheers.